All right, thank you, everyone. Now we would like to welcome Mr. Thomas Chuck, co-board chair of Diversities.
下一位係卡城運服務中心嘅卓炳權。
I first want to acknowledge all these politicians, my good friend, Rick McCain, Rick McIver, and Irvin coming in to take this time from your valuable time to come and attend our event here. It's always important for us to recognize the young people in this country, and like Teresa said, it's important for us to learn from the past. And our unsung heroes, they didn't realize how much they have contributed to the Canadian farmers. Like what my research have done and I've seen is that they have actually cut down the travel time between the East Coast and the West Coast from months to days. So the building of the railroad is very important. And the unsung hero, too bad we don't have the names. So for the young people, the new organizations such as Kai Bank to come up with this idea to celebrate is so important. And that's why I always say education is important. Education is the key to the future of Canada's success. And that's why I want to say, and thank you for all the good words that Kenny and Maggie, Peter and Jenny and everybody at the back there to have organized this event. And I also want to acknowledge Jack for having support our young people to create this event. Thank you very much. And all the associations. Oh, I also missed the Councillor Terry Wong here. Thank you for taking the time to come out and support us. Thank you.
Please now welcome Mr. Brian Wong, Executive Director of Chinatown Business Improvement Association.
下一位係邀請卡城。
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. My name is Brian. I'm Executive Director of Chinatown BIA. Welcome all. Minister McIver and McCain, MLA, Minister Sony, welcome, and Councillor Wong, and all the dignitaries. It's my pleasure to be here to talk about the future. You know, I have two daughters, 10 and 8. Once in a while, they will ask me some questions about where we are coming from. And sometimes we say, well, let's trace back because we don't have an app to go back. Sometimes I lost my identity from time to time. So searching. And it's very important. There's a very simple question, but very broad stroke and heavy to answer. Where do we start? Right? We all find our portals to start. This is one of the many portals that we should start having this conversation again. What a wonderful backdrop that we have. Sinop Park done a beautiful job of having monuments. And this is a wonderful opportunity that we start another chapter. At Chinatown BIA, we always ask questions about how we do business, how we serve the community better. Councillor Wong, a previous executive director of Chinatown BIA, has done a tremendous job setting out the foundation for many. Capturing history, telling stories, knowing their needs. And we need to find solutions in the future. And for us to look at, from a business point of view, a vibrant Chinatown means people. We want people to come down. We want people to enjoy the experience, why they come to Chinatown, and they share this experience and stories, including a frequent visit in Sinop Park, frequent visit to the Elderly Citizens Association, frequent visits to Chinese Cultural Center to learn that history, learn, earn, and return. When we return, what do we need? We understand what is important in the future. So a recent study, I just want to throw a stats, Deloitte, we are facing another sort of a crisis is young people, they don't engage, they play games, and 40% of people really don't care about the actual reality, let alone, right? So how do we bring these young people out? It's by telling stories. Today, I want to tell my story after this, when I get back home, to my children, like what I have done today this morning. Now, what people I've seen, I've met, one at a time. But yes, the media plays a part, the community plays a part, the merchants plays a part. We want to make sure that they are digital savvy, they're ready, and also EDI ready in the future. Equity, diversity, inclusivity also ready. Thank you so much for all the leaders. And I'm learning every day because of you. And I'm still learning. And I hope I capture this moment and I continue to grow from this seat. Hopefully my brain of stories will become just like Signal Park. How many green stories that we have in the future. And bring this story out. Please share away. Thank you.
Welcome now for Mr. Ronald Lee, retired Calgary Board of Education teacher.
下一位係邀請退休家成員教育局
Les Louis referred the wall of and the 15-ton block of granite mined from Hoi Pei, commemorating the Chinese workers in Golden Mountain. Now imagine a giant Chinese calligraphic circle surrounding these monuments behind us. It commemorates the 17,000 Chinese railroad workers who have entered the void. The calligraphic circle is the Chinese symbol known as Wu Yi. Wu Yi is an emptiness with a past that is so unknowable that we cannot name it, a power so great that the future springs from it. We call this Wu Yi, the void, with neither light nor shade. Wu Yi means no limits. I want you to see that circle behind us. We can begin to grasp what no limits mean if we close our eyes, visualize the Wu Yi circling the monument, expanding outwards to include the whole landscape of Siglok Park, the Bow River, the trees, the mountains in the west, and the whole dome of the blue sky. Imagine 17,000 Chinese workers who have entered the void of no limits. The spiritual force of these ancestors are here with us today. You can sense them in the emptiness. Emptiness is silence, but not the silence of the grave. It is a midnight silence when the wind rests, birds sleep, and the sun is hours from rising. Wu Yi is essential stillness. Only when the stillness breaks into sound does the emptiness become all things. My grandfather, Li Hung Loi, was a contemporary of the Chinese laborers who was labeled by the government as sojourners. In 1905, he paid the $500 Canadian head tax for permission to work as an indentured laborer in Canada. My father was born in Canada, but on July 1st, 1923, the government of Canada passed the Chinese Exclusion Act that made it illegal for any Chinese to enter Canada. From 1923 to the repeal of the Exclusion Act in 1945, exactly 50 Chinese entered Canada. My grandfather had 1 year to apply for a CI 45 certificate to allow his son, my father, to remain in Canada, but with no rights of citizenship. It was not until 1950 that my grandfather was allowed to apply for Canadian citizenship. And I still have the onion skin paper he wrote on so he could take his oath of citizenship. Next year is the 100th anniversary of the Chinese Exclusion Act. In every middle school in China, there are two maps, a map of China and a map of the world. Under the map of China, it states, remember, you were born in China. And under the world map, it states, no matter where you go in the world, you have within you a heart and the stomach of China. Today, we Chinese come to honor the spiritual force of our ancestors. The 17,000 Chinese railroad workers whose spiritual essence flows through us that has allowed us the right to remain and live in Canada. Homage to the 17,000 railroad workers who have entered the void.